This Good Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, it is 6:52. Let's get you ready for your Wednesday here with the Morning Sprint.
The contentious debt ceiling bill, the House of Representatives set to vote on that deal today. Sydney Charles has the latest.
Mark Peterson talking about some sun and clouds for the day.
But first, a man found with gunshot wounds at 2nd and Havana this morning. Let's get right to Destiny Richards with the latest.
It's still an active scene this morning while the Spokane County Sheriff's Office investigates a shooting where they found a man in the street here with gunshot wounds. They say this happened around 2:30 when police got calls about shots fired, people hearing it in the area. And this morning we've just kind of seen the investigation unfold in the early stages, markers on the ground, talking to people in the area. All we know is that they tried to treat the man here, but they took him to the hospital. We don't know his condition at this time, but he was alive and breathing with those gunshot wounds. We'll continue to stay here at the scene and track the latest.
And we have more breaking news out of Spokane Valley this morning. A tragic update to the crash that sent a mother and her 3 sons to the hospital last week. Little 2.5-year-old Thor has been pronounced dead. That is according to an update that came at midnight from Washington State Patrol. Amanda Hendricks and her boys were crossing Highway 27 at East 24th Avenue May 23rd when they were all hit by a car. At the crash scene, first responders say Thor did not have a pulse when someone started chest compressions on him. The driver was 16 years old. We do not know if charges will be filed.
Sentencing for the teenager who shot and killed another 15-year-old from Reardon. 4 News Now will not name the defendant because he was charged in juvenile court as a minor. The 17-year-old defendant, who police say was 16 at the time, stole a gun from his grandmother and took it to a home where his friends were playing video games on a snow day. Police say he then accidentally shot and killed his friend, Shadrick Hall Turner. The judge ruled the teen will spend 2.5 years at a juvenile rehabilitation center.
A man from Moses Lake will spend the next 15 years in prison for murdering his wife. Charles Bergman pleaded guilty to killing his wife, Teresa, in September. Her body was found near a farm near the town of Sprague a few days after Charles is said to have picked her up from the airport.
A man arrested for a weekend shooting is now facing multiple charges. Spokane police arrested Ryan Shawls yesterday for shooting a man on North Foothills Drive Saturday. Shawls was arrested at a home just west of Grand. 2 schools, Sacagawea Middle School and Jefferson Elementary School, were placed on a modified lockdown. Shawls is being charged with assault, drive-by shooting, and unlawful possession of a firearm.
A Coeur d'Alene man now facing an assault charge over a shooting at the Corner Bar. Investigators say 42-year-old Corey Hippensteel got into an argument with the victim inside the bar Monday night. They eventually ended up fighting outside. That's when Hippensteel grabbed his gun from his car, hit the victim in the head, and shot him twice. Police have not released the condition of the victim.
As we take a look at our first alert weather on this Wednesday morning, we do have little energy into Idaho, but that continues to push into Montana. It's not going to come into our part of the world. We are seeing temperatures right now that are on the cool, mild side into the mid-50s downtown. We've got 43 in Meade and 48 in Cheney. We're going to see the forecast continue to be pretty nice for the mid-70s. We're going to come up a little bit of cloud cover around the noon hour. But again, mostly sunny and 74 for our high today.
Well, what was once one of the largest camps in the state, Camp Hope, is now set to close by June 30th. Only a handful of people are left at Camp Hope. The camp says those still there are the most fragile, and service providers are using this time to find them housing options. Both the city of Spokane and the state announced that Camp Hope will be cleared out by the end of June. The city says the deadline gives people another opportunity to go into its shelter system or permanent housing while receiving services. Once everyone leaves Camp Hope, the DOT says it'll start the cleanup process and restore the land.
For many, warmer days mean hitting the trails. Some people living near Fish Lake Trailhead say they do not use it because they're worried about their safety. The West Hills neighborhood planned to clean up the Fish Lake Trailhead this weekend, but those plans were canceled, with neighbors saying it's just too dangerous.
The House of Representatives is on track to vote today on a bill to suspend the nation's debt limit as lawmakers race to prevent a catastrophic default. Many progressive Democrats and conservative Republicans are coming out against the deal made by President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, each accusing their leadership of making too many concessions. Still, the Republican-led House Rules Committee cleared the measure for a floor vote, and that final House vote is expected tonight. Tune into Good Morning America in a few minutes for a full breakdown of what's in the bill and what's at stake stake if it doesn't pass.
Also coming up next on Good Morning America, the urgent search right now for those missing in the Iowa building collapse. Officials now saying 2 people are still trapped inside. Stay tuned to Good Morning America for the very latest. Coming up after the break, we'll get a final check of the weather with our Mark Peterson. Don't go away. We'll have that for you in 75 seconds.